this on to another legal product, and that's cigarettes. You've said you've got some ambitions around shifting behaviour on cigarettes. What advice did you give to ministers on the issue of plain packaging?
There is a consultation on plain packaging that is closed. Clearly, I have a view, but were I to express it at this point, it might prejudice the final outcome of where we end up.
Well, let me put it slightly differently. What evidence did you unearth that shock advertising works, for example?
The evidence base was put in the consultation. I'd have to go back and check what it was, but I think there is. And
you believe there's an evidence base that supports shock advertising both on television and on packaging?
Yes. What we're watching on the plain packaging is how it works in Australia, who've introduced it, and the early signs are it's successful in reducing.
And do you work in parallel with your colleagues in the Home Office, for example, and other agencies, police, in terms of the impacts of any change of policy on the importation of illegal cigarettes?
Yes, of course, each government department has its own role, but HMRC have been very vigorous about the illegal imports of tobacco, and it is steadily going down. So there's a lot of cross-government work, yes.
Just pick up, strange enough, after this meeting there's a reception on the terrace to launch a report on the illicit tobacco trade from a noted academic, aren't they all? Which I don't think supports the view you just given, but I was more interested in what you said about the Australian experience. I mean, I quite understand your caution over asking, I think it's a bit cheeky to ask you what advice you give to ministers, because we all know that you couldn't possibly do that. And I was on the Health Select Committee when one of your predecessors, Liam Donaldson, got into a bit of a spat over the consultations on smoking in enclosed public spaces. So I respect your caution, but I'm surprised that you say there are early indications from Australia, because the legislation only came in 10, 11 weeks ago.
I had dinner with the Permanent Secretary of the Department of Health for Australia on Monday evening.
And does that count as scientific evidence?
No, I didn't claim it as evidence. I'm very careful to wait until something's been properly evaluated, peer-reviewed and published. I said there was early evidence, she said, that the purchasing looked as if
in 11 weeks?
Yes, you can get data on purchasing. I'm only reporting to you what I have understood as early evidence.